Hey everybody, it's Marwan here again. So in the last video we sketched a car in a 3/4 rear view. Now some of you want to see a 3/4 front view as well, which is totally understandable, so that's what we're going to do in this video. The technique is basically the same. You want to start with 3 lines. The only difference is we're going to change the A pillar and make that a C pillar, if that makes sense. It's about the greenhouse, just basically moving the greenhouse back and creating a hood instead of a rear end. So that's what we're gonna do in this video, so check it out. Alright, so this is what we did last time in the last video. It was a 2 3/4 rear views, one a bit more side view, the other one almost straight from the back. So we're gonna do the same thing, but in front view in this video. So check this out. It's pretty much the same thing with just a few minor differences. So to start with, again, we want to do the baseline. There we have a baseline, and the baseline is basically just a line. So same thing here. We want to put out the wheel arches like this, and make some spokes if you want to. Some cool looking like 42-inch wheels. And we want to make the end point over here. So I'm just gonna mark it like this. It doesn't mean anything. It's just for myself to know that this is the end of the car. So the difference between the front or the rear, because we can make we can either make a front or a rear with what we have right now. But the difference is that we want to start building our coupe or our greenhouse a bit earlier here. Because if we were to have a rear view, we would start with the A pillar somewhere here and make the coupe all the way from back here. But now we want to move this, the line that we have here, we want to move that backwards that way. So we want to move this line over here. Or maybe even further back, something like that. So what we have now is we have a short hangover at the back, and we can start to build our front with the front wheel arch right here. So we want to copy this line now that we have here and make the same line somewhere around here. And this is not the most perfect sketch, but I hope it makes sense. I always say adjust as you go, and by that, this is a perfect example of that. Like, this sketch doesn't look too fancy right now. It's a bit messy and everything is messed up, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna keep going and try to fix this and stick with the problem a bit longer and not get like frustrated and just start over immediately. So I want to try to figure out what is wrong here. So first of all, I want to add a center line. So let's add a center line right here, just to give us some guidance on what the hell we're doing. Yeah, sure, why not? And then we want to start to define these geometries in the front. So we want to start thinking about what kind of graphics we want, how the headlights are going to look like, how the window is going to be designed, and if we want some features in the side here. Maybe we want, you know, the classic swoop down here, or we want to add some air intakes in the front. You can do that. And let's see if we can make this front end a bit smoother than it is right now. I also like to add the wheel on the far end so that we see it kind of makes the car look like it's standing on the ground, like it's planted and not like floating or something like that. We want to make it sit on the ground, and that's why I'm adding this wheel right here. And I'm just connecting the spokes now. The rear wheel by the way, at least I think it looks way better if it's a bit deeper than the front wheel. So you have a deep dish in the back and kind of a more flat one in the front, because usually the tires at the rear are fatter than the front wheels, and we kind of want to visualize that somehow. Let's make the baseline here for the car. Connect it like that. Let's try to figure out some cool graphics for this car. These lines here they kinda already show a bit how we can design the front lights. So I'm just gonna try and make some triangular style lights here. You see these lines here? They kind of make a headlight already. So I'm just gonna cut it off right there and make it simple. Make it easy for myself. And start to think about the line weight. Since this is the base, the line that's closest to the ground, it needs to be a bit thicker than the rest of the lines. And we can start to fill in this. Some line shading. And the reflections, the horizon line in the body of the car. Same in the front. Well, it kind of stretches over the curve, over the corner here. The reflection of the horizon line, if the horizon is flat, and I like to keep it simple, so I always keep it flat. I mean, if you have any mountains or stuff that's reflecting, then you might want to like start drawing mountains in the side of the car if you want to go be really advanced. Or you can keep it like I do, just keep it simple, like it's standing in the desert or something like that. So I think I kind of managed to make this look presentable at least. So it doesn't look too bad. It's not the best sketch I've ever done. Let's add some line shading in here. And I mean, from here we can go into as much detail as we like. But so let's go back to the basics of sketching a car in 3/4 front view. What did we do differently here than we did in the last video when we sketched the rear view? So the main difference, you still start with the baseline, and you still start with two wheel arches like this, the front and the rear. Of course, the front view, the rear wheel here is the one that's going to be turning if you want to have a turn on the wheel. Obviously, if you have like Mitsubishi Lancer rally steering, you can make this wheel steer as well. But the main difference that we did here is to keep this line. That line starts way sooner, closer to the wheel that's over here. So you have this distance here. If we were to make a rear view, this line would start over here somewhere in the middle, in between these axles. So the distance would be almost something, that arrow is pointing the wrong way, something like that. That's basically the main difference. So from here, I mean, it's just to look at designers that you like and try to copy their sketches. That's one super cool way to practice perspective and practice your own style. If you take a few designers, if you find a couple of sketches from different designers which have different styles, and you start to sketch yourself, you're gonna see that your slowly developing your own style, which is going to be a mixture of all the styles that you're trying to copy. Just gonna make some cool spokes here. Yeah, so that's about it, guys. I think the rest was pretty much explained in the previous video. As I said, the main difference is you start this point earlier, then you want to copy this line over here because it's a mirror of this line, right? So you want to copy the coupe and have it end wherever you want. It depends if it's a front engine car, if it's a rear engine car. That totally depends where you want to put these lines and where you want them to end. So yeah, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed it. Any questions, as usual, I'm here to help you out. So just ask in the comments below. And I will see you next time. Oh, and if you have any ideas of what you want to see, what you want to learn, just let me know. I'll be happy to make videos on it. Take it easy, guys.